There's technology in our skies. They're hiding things right in front of our faces. Most people would look at this photograph here and not even give it a second glance because we've been programmed to think that things aren't what they should be. Let me explain what I mean. This is more for the new subscribers and the new people that are watching this video. Everybody else knows exactly what I'm talking about. We're looking at this black dot. They call that a camera abnormality. We're looking at this object here. This is called our sun. When I was a kid it was yellow, now it's white. We're looking at the chemtrails. That is global engineering to fight climate change. We're looking at this here, the sun halo. We can look up in the sky and we can get to see that. They call that ice crystals. Let me go through what we're looking at. We're looking at the sun simulator. Black dot sun simulator. The sun still behind the black dot. No sun, no life. Not going to even talk about it. The chemtrails just act like a great big one-way mirror, make it really, really hard to see anything in the sky. And the lens system, which we can see here, is what they call the sun halo. Just proves that there is a lens system in front of the sun simulator. Why would they go to all this trouble to do all that, Nige? Because they're hiding things. What are they hiding? Well, we can see what they're hiding. This is one of the objects. There are many different planets that are coming towards us. Many people around the world have caught many different ones. Backwards lit planet. How would you get one of those? Because it's running through a lensing system. That isn't our moon. That isn't our sun. There is technology, like I say, in the sky. Most people think there's nothing wrong. They look up and to all intents and purposes, that's exactly what the governments would like us to believe. Because if people started to see things, guess what? There would be chaos. Now, if you don't think that the sun simulator exists, let me direct you to this video. I'll leave the links to that in the description box down below. This for me just proves 100% about the sun simulator. Google and YouTube have decided not to notify people, unsubscribe people, and not actually show my videos. There was a point the other day that not one person was watching my videos. Either I'm making absolute rubbish videos, or I'm being censored. You make your own minds up. So if you're not subscribed, please do make sure you hit that notification bell. If you are subscribed, just make sure that notification bell has been tagged. Maybe you'll get to see my videos. Looking at this picture here, I'm going to be talking about this, but before I talk about this, I need to show you the next part of what's going on. And you'll understand when I tie everything in together, the sun simulator, the planets, and this object here. If you don't think there's technology in our skies, it's not just limited to our sun, it's in front of our moon. DiversityJ waves ripple across the moon. Links to this in the description box down below. Please go over, watch the rest of the video, and please thumb it up. Many people across the world have caught this. Crow 777 calls it a holographic wave. Now I've worked out exactly what's going on. For me, it's plainly obvious. A wave across the moon. Holographic wave. It's for you to make your own minds up. But I now have the answer, and that isn't a camera abnormality. Joanne, please yet again subscribe. Hit that like button. Go and watch this video if you want to know what's going on. We're looking at the moon. Looking at this. Well, have we seen this? You are going to see this in this next clip. This looks like a... well, you make your own minds up. At any rate, let's get on with the clip. Some of you might have actually seen this, and some of you may not have. A thermal camera, the moon. And what do I see? And a very warm welcome if you've just joined me on my channel, Nige Beyond Things. How you doing? How you keeping? I hope everybody's safe and sound where you are. I've got a thermal camera and I've used this in the past. It's a Seek Thermal Pro. I'll leave the links in the description box down below so it's nice and simple for everybody to find if you're interested in the specifications and all the other little bits and pieces. It produces a picture because everything has its own heat signature. or many different heat signatures, and it transfers that into a picture that we can understand. We will not get camera abnormalities on this. It's just an impossibility. We will not get lens flares on this. It's just an impossibility. As you can see, it produces different spectrums that we can look at, so it makes it easier to see what we're looking at. Even after telling my dog not to lay on the settee, and you can see that she's not there, you can see her thermal imprint. The beauty of thermal cameras. Such a naughty girl. Don't get on the settee, I told her. And where is she? At any rate, it makes no difference. What I'm going to show you is something extremely, extremely strange and makes no sense at all. We're told the moon is 230,000 miles away, approximately 250,000 miles. Well, that's what they tell us, and if you look up the information about the moon, it tells us it's about 200 degrees in the sunshine. Now, if I point my camera, my thermal camera, at the moon, I don't expect to get any heat back. In fact, I find that quite impossible. Now, if I point it at the sun, and I have done it and I've made a video about that, and links in the description box down below, so it's nice and simple for everybody to find. And I've shown that there is a lens around the sun. But hey, there's no technology in our sky. There's nothing that they're hiding. Of course there's not. But when I point my thermal camera at the sun, I expect to get a result because of how hot it is. The filter we're going to be using on the thermal camera itself, not what I'm using, the thermal camera uses, is called black. Up the top you can see a gradient bar, minimum temperature, maximum temperature, that's on the screen. As you can see, there's different shades, and the lighter the colour, the cooler it is, the darker the colour, the warmer it is. In the centre you can see crosshairs, and whatever in the centre of those crosshairs is the temperature we're looking at. I'm outside with my thermal camera and I've got a bit of a problem I need to show you, but the only way I can show you is record it with my phone, so please excuse the quality. And let's move that over there. Look, right in the centre there, it gives us exactly what our temperature is. Okay, 46 degrees, 0. And you can see when we get near the moon, the temperature goes up. -39 degrees. If we move it up here, -38. If we move it down there, it's -38. If we move it over there, it's -38. When we get near the moon, it changes. 37 degrees, 10 degrees, -8, 23 degrees. And that should happen because we got 45 degrees. I'm sitting here in the car. Let's just have a quick look. There you can see the interior of the car is 32 degrees, 41 degrees, 32 degrees. So we're looking at the moon. -38 degrees minus, and 46 degrees. Is that at all possible? You can see the moon reflecting off. It's a bit windy, but what I'm trying to say is you can see the moon reflecting off the roof. The filter we're going to use is called Spectra. It puts things into context, so it makes it easier for us to understand and see what's hot and what's cold. As you can see, the bar at the top tells us exactly how warm and cold things are. To the left is cold, to the right is hot. If we're looking at the moon, it should be one colour because it's a constant temperature. We know this. It doesn't fluctuate, it doesn't vary. For there to be something else on a thermal camera, it must mean it's there in the first place. It's impossible for a thermal camera to put something in that's not there. It works on heat. So if we're seeing something else, that means that there is something there. Fact. This is where things start to get extremely strange. I'm actually sitting in the car at the moment, and you can see how hot and warm the car is. There's a bar up the top there that gives you indicators of what we're looking at. In the centre there's crosshairs, and that tells us exactly what the temperature is. But I do have a problem. I'm going to show you what the problem is. It's this. There is our moon, right there in front of us. And if we look around the sky, it's minus 38 degrees, minus 40 degrees. As we get down to the horizon, it's minus 31 degrees. The clouds are coming in, so I'm going to need to be quite quick. But look at the temperatures of our moon. Yep, okay. The filter we're using on the Thermal Pro is called Spectra. Just basically like high or low. What we're going to do is now zoom the moon in. As you can see, it was about 3.6 zoom level, I think. And we're getting those temperatures off our moon. And if we look at the moon, we can see it spinning. How is that at all possible? That is not at all possible. The only way that's possible if there's a lens in front of it. But it can't be. There's no such technology, is there? Not that I've shown it many times. And there you go. There's the moon. Right in front of you. And that's the same thing we're looking on the thermal camera at. Focus. And if the camera actually focuses on this, we'll be doing really amazing. That'll make it work, Nige. There you go. Don't you hate it when you get a low battery? As you heard, my battery was just about to die, so I had to stop the video and plug it in. Technology at its best. Don't you just love it? And the reason that's doing what it's doing now is because the clouds are coming over. And there you go, you can see it actually spinning. Look at the temperature start getting hotter. Wow, look at that. As the clouds start to dissipate a little bit, it gets brighter and brighter, starting to spin. The temperature starts coming up. Tell me that makes sense to anybody. The only way this can happen, you can see it, it's got to have technology in front of it. Come on, people. Really? We know it's not a hologram because holograms do not produce heat. Well, not that I know of anyway. most amazing. That's all I've got to say. And we've got clouds in front of the moon. You can just about see them. Now debunk that. That's all I've got to say to you. Debunk that. But there's no technology in our sky in whatsoever, is there? That is just impossible. Minus 36, minus 36, minus 35. (25, 30, 32). That is just not possible. Come on. And they're saying there's nothing wrong. For me, what we've just seen I find impossible. It means that there's something in place. But hey, I'm sure somebody is going to tell me differently. We're back outside doing a moon update 6 days after I made the last video. That was on the 1st of January 2018. It was a full moon and it was meant to be a super moon, and I've got to say it was quite bright, but we were getting some outstanding results with temperatures 45 degrees and plus that. On the plus side, that is, not negative values. And that really makes no sense to me because the moon is 230,000 miles away. How is that at all possible? I would expect to see a thermal imprint on the camera, and that's exactly what we get, but we get to see that spinning. And I've analysed that footage and I've come up with some amazing bits and pieces which I will show you, and that makes no sense. So like I say, it's 6 days later. Today's date is the 7th of January 2018. I would expect to see similar sort of results as what we got last time. Right, let me explain what we can see here. We're using a mode on the camera, it's called full frame, and that gives us the minimum temperature and the maximum temperature that the camera can see at that particular moment in time. Minus 40, that is the maximum I can go down to. The camera doesn't register anything below minus 40. And we got a top figure here, 71. Yeah, it's just keeps on changing. And it's a bit lower than what it was when we were taking the video on the 1st of January, 72. So I expect to see the similar sort of temperatures to what we got last time. Let's have a look. Minus 33, 35, minus 31, 29, minus 27. That is a great big drop. Let's zoom it in. That's nearly minus 70 degrees. Negative drop. Black and white doesn't really give us much detail. It's actually called black, the filter it's used on the camera. Minus 27. Yeah, totally different. But yet the camera can pick up 66 degrees. Let's head towards the horizon. The temperature comes down. Notice the temperature on the top bar. 32 degrees, that's exactly what you can read. Minus 15, 0, 7. As we go up through the sky, the top bar will change. I just need to stop the video there and just point this out because it's a very crucial fact and I don't want to mislead absolutely anybody. The bar at the top, as we know, we get 2 temperatures, and this is because we're using full frame. And we get the base temperature, as we can see, it's minus 40. So somewhere on that picture, it is minus 40. But on the right hand side, we get a temperature of 32 degrees Fahrenheit. And that is its default setting. Even if it's colder, if I point this in the fridge, it will still be 32 degrees Fahrenheit. So it doesn't necessarily mean that something on the screen there is 32 degrees Fahrenheit. If it reads 33, 34, 35, that means that temperature is there. I just needed to clear this up. I hope it helps. Let's have a look at the moon. It's 67%, 2/3 illuminated. I really wouldn't expect to see much difference. Maybe a lower temperature, but not a negative 70 degree temperature. Come on, focus. Is it the chemtrails that's causing this? Don't you just love technology? Let's change the filter and put it into spectrum. Okay, let's just play with the 3.7. Nobody notice. Nothing to see here. Change it into spectrum like we had the other day, and you can see the top colour bar. Red's hot, blue's cold, and you can see that whatever this object is, and this is the moon I'm pointing it at, you can see that it's spinning with different colours. Okay. How we're getting that effect, I'm not rightly too sure. It doesn't look the same as what it did the other day though. Minus 27. So, like I say, we've gone negative 70 degrees in 6 days. Is it because of the chemtrails? What we'll do, we'll go outside tomorrow and we'll have another look and see what we get. 64 degrees. Okay, what's going on? Back outside 7 days after making the first video. Today's date is the 8th of January 2018. We can see that the background temperature is minus 36 degrees Fahrenheit. Is that possibly due to the chemtrails? I would have thought that the camera would have maxed out, but it's reading minus 36. Very strange. The top bar tells us minus 40, and the maximum temperature that you can see is 34, 32, 39. So it is varying. Moving it down the horizon a little bit. Let's measure the temperature of the moon. It was minus 27 degrees yesterday. And today our moon is 59%, 2/3 illuminated, minus 31 degrees. So that's dropped a negative minus 4 degrees. So in total, 74 degrees drop in 7 days. What is that? I'm looking out the window. That's not a plane. That's not a bug. That's quite big actually. That is something, yeah. Okay, it's a bit strange. And we don't talk about strange things on this channel. At any rate, let's get back to the moon. Minus 31. So why did we get a minus 74 degree drop? Let's put spectra on and we get a better look and see what's going on. And there you go. It's blue around the edges, and you can see that there's a red yellow, so it's quite warm on the inside. But the camera is still registering cooler than what it did yesterday by the top bar. Even though it's out of focus, you can see that it seems to be spinning. Is that the moon, or is there an object in front of the moon? Or yeah. I can actually show you, because I've shown many times, that there's lenses in front of the moon. I'm going to show you some photographs in a minute that look very similar to what you're looking at now. But there can't be knowledge. There's no such technology. It's impossible. Why would they want to hide the planets? I think everybody might have a freak out. But we all know there's something wrong. Minus 33. The moon's at 59%, just under 2/3 lit. I wouldn't expect a drop like I've seen. Maybe a little bit of variation in temperature, but hey, let me show you something that you find quite interesting, and it wasn't off a thermal camera. What I would like to do is show you a clip from a video that I made back in August 2017. It's called Jumping Sun, Square Moon, Red Spinning Planet. I'll leave the links for that in the description box down below, so it's simple for everybody to find. Some of you may have seen this, and some of you may not have. But I believe we've just looked at an object on a thermal camera, and it really does look like it's spinning. Now this clip shows that there's an object in front of the moon, and I believe it to be a lensing system. So it goes hand in hand. But for what reason have they got this system in place? Let's have a look at the clip. Pedersen Hill South East. Date on the camera is Tuesday 8th of August 2017. Time is 23:10. Pictures are every approximately 10 minutes, and I managed to get 6 pictures, but I think this proves that there's a lensing system in place. I think this is the best proof that I've seen so far that there is a lensing system in place. If we look at this picture, we can see that there's something just here. I've tried to bring the pictures out with using different filters, but I'll show you what I found in a minute. And we'll go to the next picture, and you can see there's some sort of interaction here, and there seems to be something here. And what is the moon doing? You've got to ask yourself. And look at this. Well, it's definitely interacting with something in the background there, and this is a normal thing to see. I've got to point out that if we were standing there looking at it, we would not be able to notice this. This would be sort of like subtle, very, very subtle, but the camera is just sensitive enough to pick this up. When they were making this lensing system, they've tested this lensing system out, and it absolutely works 100%, but they forgot their variables, and the variable would be a camera lens. I'm just saying. And then we get a square moon. Look at that. And this reminds me of a clapometer from one of those old game shows. Or am I just showing my age now? At any rate, we get to the next picture, and there you go. That is a normal thing to see on camera, and that is how our moon behaves. Don't think so. This to me proves that there's a lensing system in place. There looks like there's interaction with this object behind here. I've been looking closely at the footage that I got from the 1st of January. It was a full moon, a super moon. I've zoomed it in and slowed it down, and I've found something quite interesting I need to show everybody. As you can see, the 3 red dots here indicate that the temperature is 133 degrees at that particular moment in time. The outside is purple, so it's colder than -40, or it is -40. We got these 2 objects here, and they're consistently in the same place. Let me show you what I mean. Right, I'll stop it there. We've got these 2 here, we've got these 2 here, and we're going to get some more. What are we looking at? Another 2 just here. And you can clearly see that they're around the outside. They seem to be staying in the same place, but the inside seems to be spinning. Right, let me show you a comparison. I believe there's 8 of these. They seem to be in exactly the same place, and the centre seems to spin. If we look at the pictures from the video clip we just looked at, we've got the lights around the outside. Here you can see it's square on the inside, and if we look at this picture here, it's square on the inside, and we've got the lights around the outside. Are these lights? But what I did, I phoned Seek Customer Services up, and I recorded the phone call, but I didn't get his permission to use it, so I'm not going to actually play that. And it was quite an interesting conversation. I did ask the man if he thought it was possible that I could get a temperature from the moon, and he went, it is a total impossibility for me to measure the temperature of the moon through these crosshairs. I said, would we get a thermal imprint of the moon? He said, yes, we would. He was very perplexed about what I was talking about, and I could hear him scratching his head. Don't forget, we're not looking at a conventional picture. This is a picture made up of heat, and the camera puts it all together and makes it into a picture that we can understand. And you can see there's oranges, there's blues, purples, and if we look up here, it gives us what temperature that these colours are. At this particular moment in time, it's 135 degrees to red, and we can see just a touch of red just there and there. Are we looking at our moon? I don't believe we're looking at our moon. I believe that we're looking at a lens in front of the moon that's spinning. And you can see the dot. Am I just looking at Pacman? Yeah, okay. And these lights seem to be in exactly the same place, in a constant fashion, all the way round. And there seems to be a total of 8. So when something becomes extremely consistent, especially on a thermal camera, it really starts to make me wonder what we're looking at. And I don't believe that for a second is our moon. It's something that's spinning in front of our moon. And Pacman again. Right, I need to just sum this up. I'm looking at something that's artificial, and the reason I'm going to say what I'm going to say and my diagnosis of this is because we're using a thermal camera. And a thermal camera works on heat. You can't get abnormalities. The picture is built up of different heat signatures. So on a thermal camera, for these objects to be here consistently, time after time, in the same place, that means that they're there. I'll be looking at some sort of alien technology, because when people say to me, well, I can see the moon when I look at it through the telescope, or I can see the sun, I can't see no objects. Well, I've shown you how they hide them. Credit goes out to the University of Rochester for this clip. I believe that this is going to show a similar sort of technology that they're using, but a more advanced system. How to hide something under your nose, right in plain sight. So basically, when you're looking at the moon, that's all you would get to see. And the same for the sun. If there was an object in place, this now will demonstrate to you how they're hiding it, I believe. By the use of mirrors and lenses. And I've shown the lens system that's in place, and I've shown the mirror system that's in place. Basically what you're looking at is misdirection, optical illusion, smoke and mirrors. So being truthful, it could be right in front of your face and you would never ever see it. I think that's a good indication of the lensing system that they've got in place. Anyway, don't take my word for it. Apparently I'm a nutter. I show lens flares and I spend all my time photoshopping pictures and videos. But when many people around the world collaborate with the same sort of pictures, many different videos, and they're showing all the same things, it makes you wonder. Nothing wrong with the world. And if you think there is nothing wrong with the world, go back and watch TV, because, hey, all's fine. Anyway, that's all I've got for you now. Much love, much peace, and I'll catch you next time. Take care.